So Colman Domingo, shall I call you Colman or Cool Man? Because I think this is your year.
You can call me whatever you want to call me, as long as you call me.
Honestly, like I am wowed by what you did in both films. It's incredible.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I think it's been truly a privilege, especially for these two films to be coming out at the same time with these incredible, I don't know, portrayals of human beings, with their struggles, their hopes, their wishes, their tears, and I don't know what we can possibly be. I think both films have, at their core, have incredible conversations that need to be had about getting people to the table and talking about whether it's generational trauma, whether it's talking about toxic masculinity, whether it's talking about having agency in the world and having all these civil rights and human rights leaders together to try to solve problems. I think what a fantastic time to be in the center of both of these films.
Of course, like the two big studios, Netflix or Warner Brothers, you're working for both of them. One here, you're playing somebody who's like, who had make an impact and change, not just in African American, on everybody.
Yeah.
I'm an Egyptian. I live in America. Thanks to him, things there's equality and stuff like this. It don't just impact the African American. And in the other hand, you have the color purple. You're working with Oprah. Tell me about this.
Oh man, I've been very, very blessed, to be very honest. I feel like, but I know that I've also did the work. I've been working for many years, and maybe I get a bit under the radar, but just showing up doing the work, whether it's in theater or film or television, you name it, it didn't matter to me. As a writer, as a director, as a producer, as long as the work was being moved forward. And now, I guess it's a culmination of many years of work that people start to understand what I do and what I can give to a production. And so, yeah, having like people like President Barack Obama and Michelle Obama be on one producing team, and then Oprah, Spielberg, and Quincy Jones on the other. It's I'm getting the lion's share. But it's also part of at the center of their mission and what they've carved out for themselves, what's important in the world, and how we make an impact through entertainment, through the arts. And I feel like my personal commitment and alignment has been in alignment with them for many years. Now it's just a great time for us all to come together. So again, I can't feel more blessed.
You deserve everything that comes your way. I love to see in Rustin, you speak about Rustin used to say this. I seen another interview like a few hours ago of you talking about your own mom manifesting, you working with those people. It's kind of like, it's mind blowing. It's beautiful.
You know what? Because I think maybe that's why I bring it up, because I mean, we do know the impact that parents can have on us. And I speak about my mother a lot, but also my stepfather was a great influence. And sort of like giving me my grounding and place in the world. I think if I wasn't set up to believe in possibility of what I could be, I grew up in very humble inner city Philadelphia, where I don't know anyone who stepped out on faith to become an actor. It does have a great history of musicians. My neighborhood, like many of the Teddy Pendergrass and soul singers all came from my neighborhood. But when it comes to acting, no. Or directing or producing, no. But I thought that I was set up in the world to believe that I had a voice and I had purpose and intention. And that if I used it well, hopefully I can, make the world a little bit better with being an artist, So I think that I've been set up with a lot of love from both my parents. And so that's why I don't mind recalling them, because they live with me. They're no longer here. They both passed away in 2006. But
sorry.
Oh, thank you. But they're with me, because I think they're with me in everything that I do. I've devoted, there was the Colman Domingo before his parents passed and the Colman Domingo after, which sort of doubled down while I'm tethered to this earth, my purpose. And it's like, it's not only me who's walking into rooms or taking up spaces, it's my parents, it's my grandparents, it's my ancestors. All these people are coming with me to actually, impact the world. And I feel like I have to call on them. It's never something you just do on your own.
Oh, of course. That's so sweet. I was getting goosebumps because I'm very close to my mom too. And it's kind of, my dad passed 5 years ago, but this is like, my mom is kind of like, it's kind of the source of everything. I call her every day. And when I saw this on the camera and I saw you doing this, I kind of like, oh my goodness, I related with you so much. And I loved it. It's important to know where you're going, but it's very important not to forget where you come from.
That's one of the most important enlightening things I was taught, because you have to take all of it with you. That's their sense of being in the world. I think that's a sense of history, of knowing how you navigating spaces and how they did. And so I think that that's important. And sounds like we both came from good moms. My mom was such a light in the world, and love and inspiration and fun. And she gave me all those gifts. She taught me how to throw a good party and to be joyous and to also be of service. And so I think me living now, and especially with the work that I'm doing, it's dedicated to her.
I love this, and I love that you have a great voice too. And now you're giving voice to the voiceless. You're a role model for everyone from your area who hasn't been an actor or a writer or a director before you. Now your area have somebody who did that. They can look up to you and continue. So thanks to you for that.
Oh man, that first of all, that's so beautiful to hear. And I feel like I've always just wanted to have I wanted to be respected as an artist when I first started out. The idea of fame and fortune, honestly, was never part of my trajectory. I thought I wanted to be an artist, and I understood the life of an artist. And here's somebody who comes from a very humble background who thought, like, yeah, I understand how to get by, but I want to be. My parents told me they want me to be happy, so for many years I had a life just as an artist, working in regional theaters, working off Broadway, writing plays, producing, directing, and whatever television and film and commercial work I can get, living in a rent stabilized apartment in Manhattan. Then I felt successful then. And then, as you keep going in your career, I think, I'm a journeyman. And I think that I know many other friends and colleagues of mine who may not have these opportunities for whatever reason. I think it's just sort of luck of the draw or hard work. And, sometimes the star is shining upon you. And I know that I'm in a great moment. And it's not only for me, it's for my colleagues too. It's like that. I know they're rooting me on because they see themselves in me. And you're like, oh, this is an artist who just was very clear and true to the work, and really true to himself in moving through and navigating these spaces. And so I know I have so many people in front of me, behind me, on the side of me, cheering me on. And it's really an incredible time.
It's understandable after seeing your performances in Rustin. And let me say this, in both films, you have a powerhouse cast. You have a big cast here. Here you have like Chris Rock, and here you have like Taraji. You have like people here and there, but yet again, you're in the spotlight. And I think it's well deserved after what you've done in the industry, because the theater gives you more of a background in acting than films, so when you come, it's an easy game.
I'd like to agree. I'd like to agree that my work ethic, the way I work, I feel like I've been deserving of working with such behemoths in this industry. You just named people who I admire and respect. I always want to be in rooms with people who are going to challenge my work. Working with Jeffrey Wright, working with Taraji B. Henson, working with Corey Hawkins and Daniel Brooks. It's like Audra McDonald and Rustin and Glenn Turman and Amel Amin. It really continues to help shape and craft and challenge my own craft. And so I feel like I've laid in a lot of groundwork to be able to stand firm and be with these people and let it affect me. But also I know how to be in the center and lead with love and with grace and a sense of purpose. I think maybe I bring that in from the theater, which is a sense of community, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so like looking at new ways and new paths to make things equitable, to make sure that people are heard. I think that, I've been doing things with my production company, and even the way we sort of like, make films happen. We make sure it's a different model that's been established before, where everyone feels a part of it and they have a voice and they also share in the equity. I think that there's new ways, and hopefully I'm on the cusp of like, hopefully leading the charge, saying we can do this differently, in a joyous, fantastic way, where everyone feels that they're validated. Studios and actors and above the line and below the line people,
That's amazing. So, like, quick question: where there is any challenge for you in either films?
Oh, both presented its own sense of challenges. First of all, Rustin, the moment I read the script, I was like, I think I'm on every single page of this script. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of pressure. And he does not stop speaking. And he speaks in a very strange but beautiful mid-Atlantic standard accent. And he plays the lute. And he sings Elizabethan love songs. I had so many things, so many challenges, but I didn't have a chance to be filled with that terror. I just go to work. I just go into deep research is what I've always done with my work. I put myself through my own rigorous rehearsal. So I know as much as possible. So I feel less afraid. And then with Mr., it was like the challenge is to not only find the dark side and find those villainous ways of his, but also to find his humanity and find those strokes of light when they're available to show that he's a human being under this vitriolic, vicious work that he's doing and oppressing women and
being abused, yes,
being a total nightmare. But I think I wanted to make sure that we saw that he's human, that he's got vulnerability and wants and needs like anybody else. And for me, that helps the person not write a person off as, oh, they're villain, they're the worst, they're horrible. But you can see yourself in them in some way. So that was the challenge. And I wanted to really just attack that challenge to make him seem human.
Yeah, it's important not to judge your character, but
you have to love your character. You have to love every character that you play, even if it's the person on the planet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Because you need to find these reasons why you're doing this. So that's why you can't judge it, and you have to love it for sure. Okay, so I wanna. All right, let me just say some stuff about Rustin. Okay, first of all, I couldn't take my eyes off you.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. Your performance, wherever you leave the scene, I want to go with you as an actor, okay? As a character. And for me, not being from the States, I only moved here 4 years ago. So not being from here and come and get educated about the African-American history in here by African-American people and actors to tell their own story, I thought that was amazing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And one other thing, like for me, obviously, I relate with African Americans so much. I'm from Africa, so it makes sense. And I love the fact that you're watching a movie that was intense, that was a lot of problems, but yet again, how you guys do it? The movie is so rhythmic. There is rhythm. You want to dance while the movie's happening, and there is like we're watching a cause, we're watching struggle, but it's upbeat. No one can do this. No one can make you watch drama. And while you're watching drama, you're in beat. You're hearing the jazz in the back. You're hearing this. The flavor, the African-American flavor was all over the film. Tell me how important is this?
It was very important because I think that it debunks the theory that that everyone in the 50s and 60s or even during times when they were enslaved was just filled with trauma. There had to be love there. There had to be light. There had to be intelligence and wit. The reason I always tell people, I feel like I started to say this more when it was in my 30s. I'm 54 now. But I used to say, I'm a proud descendant of slaves because someone had to love enough, fight enough, exist enough, dance enough in order for me to exist. You know what I mean? And so I wanted to call on that spirit because I think that's you have to remind yourself why you're here, why you're actually still going through these struggles and trials and tribulations. It's because of love. It's because of family. You need something to live for. I think even in these dark times that we're living in right now, where we don't even know how to talk to each other about certain themes, I think we always have to remind ourselves, what are you trying to live for? It can't just be anger. We need that fuel and that fire. Yes, we do. We also need to remind ourselves why we're doing it. Because we care, because we want to love, we want to exist, we want people to feel heard. And I think an acting teacher told me early on in my career, and it stayed with me, that it's easier to play anger, but if you play hurt, it's much more complex. There's so many more different notes to it. In hurt, there's also joy, shockingly enough. There's also, it's all these colors in there. It's like the color blue. There's lights and darks. But anger is just fiery red. That's all you can go. It's just hot. But I think that you can find more nuance in that way. So I think that was very important to us to have a buoyancy and a potency to the way we told this story. That this is the triumphant spirit of getting knocked down and getting back up. That's also the American spirit. You don't got to be Black. You don't got to be queer. You don't got to be a woman. You just got to be human to understand. You're knocked down, you get back up. You gather yourself, you try to find some hope and some joy and some good times and dancing and keep going. you know?
Mhm. I love this. I love this so much. Um, I, I need hours and hours with you. It will never be enough.
We'll
But
do it again. We'll do it again someday.
but I'll just ask one last question. How do you feel? Okay,
Hmm.
you deserve everything, but how do you feel to be in it? Like two great big films, they going for a big award. You know, you are in there in those biggest two awards in for whatever. Like they recognize the best of the best, and you
Hmm.
are among these people right now. Okay, like it. You just were not in radar. Now you are the radar itself. How do you feel about this? What a year, huh?
Yeah, what a year. I'm still trying to figure out how it feels. It feels quiet. I feel like I've worked very hard and been peaceful with my work and my journey has not been easy at all. So arriving at this place where there's a lot of accolades and love, I'm happy it's for films like this that I truly believe in, and I feel like I'm a part of something that I feel like is part of my life's mission as an artist as well. I feel
Mhm.
like I feel there's a maybe that's the only word I could think of. I feel a sense of grace that, like, you know, by the grace of God, here I am. That I just kept going as an artist, and I kept believing that there were spaces and places for me to be, and that I was useful and I was in service to the work. I do look at my job as a service job. I'm in service to showing all these complex things about our humanity. It's my job. It's my job to play the light in the dark and to get out of the way. I've devoted my life to service in this industry, and I think you give without hope of anything comes back because you're
Mhm.
supposed to. That's something I would teach my students. I want you to leave everything on the floor, is what I say. As we have an audition, leave it all out there, hold nothing back because you got to give a gift. This is what we're supposed to do. That's why we're charged to be these artists, painters and musicians and uh, provocative thinkers and writers. This is our job, is to be in service to humanity. And so I can't leave anything. And I've been giving everything. And the beautiful thing that it feels like a lot of it's coming back to me right now. And it feels beautiful.
That's amazing. Colman, I know how valuable your time. I need more time with you for sure. But for today, I think like I'm very proud of you. Let me put it this way. I
Mm.
swear to God, I am very proud of you. You're an example to a lot of people, you know, not just in the
Mm.
artist world, in every world. And keep going. We're open and praying for you. And yeah, and
Spread the
just more
word,
to come.
spread the word, spread the word.
I, like, listen, you have in Egypt, you have 100 million behind you. You know, we're all
Oh, I
backing
love
you.
that. I love
You
it.
know,
And I'll take it. I'll take it.
honestly, we are all backing you up. We wish that this is just the beginning of a lot of it. There is a lot coming your way. You know, it's just like Hollywood just like said, "Oh my God," you know. So it's I can only imagine what's to come, bro. I can only imagine.
Wow.
You know.
I look forward to talking to you again. This is really wonderful. Thank you.
It's been my absolute pleasure, Coleman.
Take care, friend.
Much love. Thank
Much
you.
love to you.